Today we're going to be discussing reasons why PC is better than console. Let's get into it. So first things first definitely has to be the price. If we weigh up the pricing and what you get in different categories of PCs, we definitely have an interesting budget. £500 can get you a decent amount in terms of consoles, but in terms of PCs, this is just actually where you start. Now I did some research and I just had a look around the internet. Now obviously the PS5 and the Xbox Series S are the two most popular consoles around £500. So I looked at PCs that were between £450 and £500. And the most common specs that I found online that people are buying often have either an Intel Core i3 processor or an AMD Ryzen 5 with either a 1060 Super card, a 1650 or a 1060. Now all of these graphics cards are equally good considering the price. I mean, you can build these and you can, game relatively well on low settings. Nothing too impressive. A couple of my friends have had these different GPUs and it's been fine for them. It's not going to get anywhere close to being able to play at 4K consistently, getting the same frame rate. So it does weigh up an interesting comparison because for the money, you're actually getting a really good deal because you're getting, for £500, you're getting a console, well, a computer in a way, that can run all of these powerful games, run all of these ridiculously cool new games that are coming out at 4K, either at 60 or 30 FPS, and maybe 1080p at 120. And I personally think that's a really good deal. Like, all these games are being really well optimized for these consoles. And for the price, I think that the console definitely has to come out on top for what you're getting. Number two definitely has to be the ease of use. Now, I definitely think that between PlayStation and Xbox's UI is definitely simpler to use, but that doesn't take away from the fact that PlayStation's UI is still very simple to use, and consoles are designed to be simple for everyone to understand. A lot more people are going to be using consoles and just navigating around the UI. On a laptop or desktop, a lot of people just know what they need to click on, know what they need to go for, whereas on consoles, everything has to be laid out easily, games projected easily, whereas on PC, obviously, it can be a variety of softwares, most likely either Windows 10 or Windows 11, and I'd argue that they're obviously more difficult to use. I mean, if you have a gaming PC, you're probably pretty alright with functioning Windows, but it still does stand that the ease of use of a console is definitely up there. Consoles are designed around being easy so that people can understand them more, and it just makes more sense why these would be ridiculously easy to use compared to a PC. Number three definitely has to be comfort. Now, I've noticed that I have two different styles of gaming. Now, I prefer to be sat in a chair, playing, not competitively, but like a bit more close to the screen, so I can play a bit more aggressive and, have a higher frame rate. But I also do enjoy playing on my TV. At the moment, my Xbox Series S is hooked up to the TV and the PlayStation 5 is hooked up to my 120Hz monitor. Now, I really enjoy both experiences because I like having the option of being able to sit down on my bed with a controller and just use the console, play the game. It's really nice to be able to have that relaxed experience. Where on a PC, crouching over mouse and keyboard, I mean, obviously you can hook up a controller, but it's just not the same experience because you still have to be sat in your chair with your PC. It just makes it less comfortable. I definitely think that, in terms of comfort and getting home from work and deciding, you know what, I want to play some games, but I don't want to have to sit at my desk. I want to sit in my living room, just playing Spider-Man, playing Forza, just chilling without having to worry about going to your whole desktop PC setup. And it's definitely a more comfortable game experience being on console. Number four definitely has to be aesthetic. Now, I can argue in both camps here, and I'm not going to come at this from a biased point of view. I definitely do think that PCs do look better. I just think that in terms of universal looks, obviously consoles will take the lead on that, and aesthetic is all down to personal preference. But the PS5 is arguably one of the best looking consoles, in my opinion. I really like the way it stands, I like the way it looks, and I think it looks sleek and nice and modern. Now, I think that PCs, honestly, because you can customize them any way you want, you can make them look how you want, they come out on top. You cannot argue that. You can have RGB galore, you can have, really cool glass cases, really cool wood cases. You can do anything you want to your PC, make it look really cool, and I absolutely love that. I love the fact that people can customize their PCs to be whichever way they want. They can have screens on there, they can make their GPU light up in different ways, and PCs are just so much more unique and not just like generic. Obviously you can have generic PCs, but custom built PCs are just unique to you and normally have flares of you. And I really do like the fact that PCs are customizable, we can do whatever we want to them, and no one is going to stop you. No one's going to say, you can't have that part, this bit of the software's locked. No, we're allowed to do anything we want on PCs, and it's a really good thing, and I love that people can customize it whichever way they want. Number five, now this definitely has to go to PC, is having to play online. Now this definitely has to go to PC, is playing online. Now consoles have got better at this by making free games free to play online. So it is all right for games like Fortnite, games like Fall Guys, all those type of free games that, you know, you can play without even having to have a subscription. But for most games on PlayStation and Xbox, you will have to have a subscription where you either pay £12 a month or you pay £100 for the whole year, which is absolutely insane. When you think about PC, they can play online together for free, no cost, no nothing. Now, I think this is mainly because, number one, it can't be policed. There are so many different game launches, ways that games work, that it's just actually impossible for all these online servers to have one subscription on PC. Without a shadow of a doubt, it is definitely arguable that PC people get online for free. It's because they 9 times out of 10 put more money into their hardware. So it does mean that PC manufacturers, game manufacturers, do tend to get all of their money, because compared to things like on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, where you can sometimes get the games for free, obviously PlayStation and Xbox has taken a massive chunk of that cost, so it is quite a big thing for game companies to lose out on. I definitely think that having to pay for an online service to be able to get online obviously isn't the most insane thing. We've had this since the beginning of gaming pretty much, but I do think it's crazy when we compare it to PC that can literally hop online for completely free, no subscription needed at all. Number 6 definitely has to be the game selection. Now, I'd argue that this is actually pretty even. Now, I definitely think that in terms of game selection, we definitely get games early on console compared to PC most of the time. Just because it's more difficult to, you know, build for PC. There are so many different variations of PCs that you can get in just literally one price category, which is what made it difficult with this video, is that there are so many different price categories and so many different ways that PCs are better, but also at the same time, at this price range, they are very, very undercut. Now, do I think that, you know, PC can have a better game experience? Yes, but it also does mean that game developers have to spend more time on making sure that their game is optimized for millions of different configurations of PC. So it does mean that games do come slightly later. But in terms of game catalog, we pretty much have an equal playing field. Obviously, there's games that are exclusive to Xbox and PlayStation that obviously don't make their way onto PC, but most of the time we get the same games on PC as we do on console. If you do want to have the best type of game experience, a console is always the best one, because you tend to have less crashing, you tend to have higher quality at a lower price, and you also tend to get locked higher frame rates. And that is definitely a better thing for the consumer. And I definitely think that if you are someone that just wants to have the best looking game experience, consoles for the price and, you know, definitely way better. Number 7 definitely has to be power consumption. Now, I've noticed that, you know, it's kind of obvious that you can get multiple different configurations of power supplies that control different configurations of PC. But you will tend to use more wattage, you use more power on a PC because it's having to power more. There's more components that want more voltage. Now, if we look at some of the new GPUs that are coming out that are basically sucking like 500 watts of power, it's crazy. You know, like that's taking up like some power supplies full wattage, which is absolutely mental. Compared to a console that's maybe using on average maybe 300, 400 watts, it's actually a way better deal for, especially if your parents pay for electricity, you won't get complained at as much. But computers definitely do suck up more electricity just because of the way they're designed. It's just the way that it's going to end up. Final thing, number 8, definitely has to be the different form factors. Now, surprisingly, this is actually a really common thing in the console industry. Now, it is difficult to argue what's a console and what's not when it comes to these small form factors. For example, Nintendo Switch, which we have Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation Portal, which I wouldn't class the PlayStation Portal as a console. I class that more as just a streaming device that PlayStation make, just because it doesn't have any actual like gaming hardware in it. It just has like streaming, Wi-Fi antennas, all that kind of stuff. The Nintendo Switch is also a really cool console for what it was at the time, but extremely undercut compared to its competitors like the Steam Deck, like the Asus ROG. It's a very competitive industry now, small form factors in consoles and in PCs. Now, PC handhelds have definitely got way better at this. Like, honestly, the Steam Deck completely re-revolutionized PC gaming in small form factor. And that's definitely a good thing because it's made other companies want to try this more. And Windows gaming on a small form factor is actually getting a lot better. And it does mean that people aren't having to carry around, you know, small little consoles that don't have as much power as the big consoles. Now, obviously, we can get consoles that are absolutely massive and slightly smaller, but there is only really the Nintendo Switch that you can carry around with you in your pocket. Now, there's probably other ones that I am forgetting, but I definitely think that the 3 main ones, obviously Nintendo Switch, Sony and Microsoft, out of all 3 of them, Nintendo are the only ones that make a small form factor that can fit in your pocket. So it's definitely a really cool thing. Now, you could argue that the new iPhones are sort of like gaming devices in your pocket, which I'd argue to yes, but they are in their own type of category, and I think they are also going to re-revolutionize the gaming industry, because if Apple start to go into this industry, it means that we're probably going to get more efficient, more powerful chips that can, you know, run at ridiculous temperatures but still give you insane performance. So I definitely think that, you know, gaming at the moment is in a really, really good spot. We've got GTA 6 coming up, and we've also got new small form factors coming up, which is going to revolutionize the gaming industry forever. But to conclude, I definitely have to say that consoles overall in the £500 price budget definitely are better, especially for your money. You're getting a way better experience, way better looking one, and a way, way, way better game catalogue if you want your games early, straight away. Yeah, it definitely makes more sense if you want that. But if you do want games that you can, you know, play for free online, you can customize your PC to look however you want, you can have multiple different form factors, then yeah, PC is definitely going to be the way for you, and you're definitely going to enjoy that more. But if you did enjoy this video, please do drop a like and subscribe. It's been Harry. I'm out. Peace.